Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, Nonfiction November is a thing that happened. I participated. I read 3 nonfiction books that I want to talk to you about today. All of them were on audiobook because for some reason that's just how I do nonfiction. It's what works best for me. So the first one of these was Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. This is a memoir of stories of his childhood growing up in South Africa. This was really good. One of the things that I noticed very quickly is that it is told in non-chronological order. Like, he'll start a chapter by giving like a snippet of a story, and then he'll tell a long circuitous story sort of around it, and then he'll come back to what he started off with and finish off the actual story and tell the full context of it. It made it sometimes confusing when I couldn't quite tell what events were happening simultaneously, because he would tell them more thematically, and then I would be like, oh wait, so this is happening during that other story that he was telling like 6 chapters ago. And so I had to kind of piece the timeline together, but the story was great. It was really interesting. It was really funny. Of course, Trevor Noah is a great storyteller. He reads his audiobook and he does a great job doing it. He does a great job with like the accents, of course, because he speaks like 5 different languages, and he brings in the history of apartheid into the story, so it's not just personal recollections, it's also more widely what was happening throughout the country. Definitely recommend this one. It was a really interesting, fun, funny read. The next of these was Victorian Secrets. It's not by Stephen Fry, but it's like Stephen Fry's Victorian Secrets, so I always think of it as being by Stephen Fry. So it's actually by Jeff Wolfe and Nick Baker. This was an Audible original, so it's only available through Audible, unfortunately, if you don't have a subscription. It was originally done in like an episodic format that's now all been compiled into one book. And each episode has a different theme. There was an episode on crime, there was an episode on pornography, there was an episode on spirits and mediums, there were 2 episodes about queer people, one about gay men and one about gay women, and it was a really great wide variety of topics. Because of the episodic nature, they tended to vary a little bit in quality depending on the episode, but overall the standard was really high. It was really fun. It has narrations by Stephen Fry, it had dramatizations by actors, it also had historians giving like little bits of interviews, then that was all sort of mixed together. So it's really entertaining, it feels very multimedia, and it covers a lot of different sort of underground, underbelly topics of the Victorian age. The last nonfiction book that I read was Lauren Graham's Talking as Fast as I Can. This is a memoir from one of the main actors of Gilmore Girls, so if you haven't watched the show, this is going to be totally meaningless to you, but if you have watched the show, it talks about her initial run on Gilmore Girls, it talks about going back to it with the Netflix Year in a Life, and it also talks about a lot of other like jobs that she's had and relationships that she's been in, and just a lot of her experiences working in the entertainment industry. I thought that this was fun. I thought that it was really kind of feel good and sometimes felt kind of superficial, like things weren't really dived into very deeply. But I don't think that that was really necessarily the point. It's only like a 4.5-hour audiobook, so it goes by very quickly. So if you are a big fan of Gilmore Girls, it is fun to get some more like behind the scenes kinds of stuff. I just thought it was not fantastic, but it was still good. So I gave it around like a 3-star rating. And then finally, as a little bonus, this is mostly a joke, I also, in November, read World War Z, an oral history of the zombie war. This is obviously not actually nonfiction. However, it is written in a nonfiction format, and so I thought it would be fun to include anyway. It is done all in oral transcripts. I did actually do this one simultaneously on audiobook and in physical form, because I originally did the audiobook in abridged version, and I was reading the complete edition, but I really didn't necessarily trust it to actually be complete. So just to check, I kept along with the physical form. There are some little bits missing in the complete audiobook, I think probably because it's from sections that were recorded back when it was abridged. So I don't think you really miss anything of substance, but if you are a total stickler for 100% completionism, then read the physical copy. I thought that this book was good. I thought that the audiobook was good. It has a full cast with a lot of different people doing different voices of people that are being interviewed. I did notice that most of the people being interviewed are men. It also reads as a kind of 2006 story. Like, there's some elements in here that just feel a little misogynistic. Like, it'll be in the voice of a character who's not a particularly nice character, but it still just feels a little off, especially when it's like, I think about 80% men in here. It just kind of feels maybe a little dated, but it also is super imaginative, and the full cast audio is a really fun time. Some of the accents for some of the people are a little off. I would say that anyone doing a Chinese accent is not great. I can't speak to exactly what was wrong with it. It just didn't feel quite right in some places, but it's still a really great like global look at a like almost downfall of a civilization due to a zombie outbreak. And I think that it does a good job at giving the worldwide look, even if it's mostly through a male perspective. So that is everything for Nonfiction November. Much shorter one this time than my last few videos. Let me know if you participated in Nonfiction November, what your favorite book of the month was. I think mine is gonna be Stephen Fry's Victorian Secrets, just because I love the Victorian age, and I thought that the dramatization was really fun. But I will see you guys soon with another video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!